safe. Before you cross me, look both ways. Leaving the scene with no trace. None in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top. I'm outer space. Can't eat with us. We're out of place. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling great. You're not my fan. You can't relate. Straight talk going state to state.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's your host, your boy, George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling, and I am here with the OG in Straight Talk. That's right, he was one of my early interviews. He gave me some time back then, and his career's flourished. Not saying I had anything to do with it, but the one and only, reigning, defending, Demand Lucha champion, and a man you see it all over the place, the one and only Gringo Loco. Welcome back to Straight Talk, my dude.
Thank you so much for having me, man. The pleasure's all mine, brother.
Absolutely. Well, it's all mine too, man. I'm a big fan of yours. We talked about it, that interview a long time ago, and one of the things we talked about off camera, and I'm going to address it now, I don't know why you're not back on MLW screens, man. I really don't. I don't understand it, and I don't get it.
Here's what happens, man. I show up, I follow orders, I go to work, I go home, man. I mean, if MLW wants to contact Gringo Loco, they know where to find me.
Absolutely. So. Bring Gringo Loco back. MLW needs Gringo Loco, straight goods. My dude, you just had a battle with Joey Janela right now. It was an absolute fucking war. You guys put each other through, I believe, 4 doors? 5 doors?
Yeah, it felt like it. I feel like I've been through a battle right now, man. Every single inch of my being hurts. You saw me crawling over here to this podcast right now, so yeah, I'm struggling a little bit. Came out with the win, still your champion. Toronto, I love you guys, man.
Absolutely, Toronto loves you, but what was it like being toe-to-toe with the bad boy Joey Janela in this crazy environment that Demand Lucha brings? These fans are insane. This place was electric tonight, and you guys delivered a main event to be remembered.
Yeah, I'll be honest, man. It was surreal looking across and having it be Bad Boy versus Base God. Almost to the point where I grabbed the mic and I started talking to him from the heart. Like, man, we are the pioneers of all of this, dude. You know, he's a social media giant. I'm like everywhere on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that. It's both of us in one ring, one-on-one, in front of a crazy, raucous Toronto crowd. I couldn't ask for anything more, man. Demand Lucha knows how to book wrestling shows.
Absolutely. I can attest to being my second Demand Lucha show, and both times I have been left with so many holy shit moments. It's unbelievable. Now, I got to ask, at the end of the match, you wanted to shake hands. You wanted to show respect. The bad boy didn't. The bad boy wanted to give you one of these. How did that make you feel after going to war and you thought you'd earned each other's respect tonight?
Honestly, I thought I did earn his respect, but, you know, him being a bad boy did a bad gesture, and here we are. All I can do is accept, let him walk away, you know, a loser that he is. And I came out on top, man. I stayed there. I celebrated a little bit with my fans, and the rest is history.
It is absolutely history. Now, I mean, that must leave a little bit of disdain in your mouth. Like, you got the win. You're still the champ. But if Joey Janela said, no, I want to come back. I want to do round 2. Would you accept round 2?
I am one that will never say no to a challenge. It doesn't matter who it is, how big or small they are. I'll go toe-to-toe with anyone in the ring to see what kind of match they can bring in terms of quality and in terms of toughness, in terms of strong style. I'm ready for anything that comes at me.
I can attest to that and seeing some of the amazing opponents and matches you've had. Now, I don't know if you know this, a couple weeks ago, I had El Doctor on my podcast, on my interview. He had a lot of choice words to say about you, saying that Los Menicos was coming for all the gold here in Demand Lucha. One of the things he said is that the last good match he's seen was you go one-on-one with a taco. How do you respond to nonsense like that?
One-on-one with a taco? See, I didn't hear that comment, but that's pretty funny. Listen, I know he has a lot of big guys in his squad. Pretty big challenges if they were to come and face me. I'm not scared of anyone, man. I've gone toe-to-toe with Macias, La Park, you know, I mean, big, huge, strong guys. And I'm usually coming out on top, and I'm still alive after the battle. So I'll take on anybody that comes along.
Again, it's not a surprise to hear you say those words. Now, here's a question that I don't think I asked the first time around. Base God. Where did that nickname come from? Why is Gringo Loco known as the Base God? I mean, I just know you as Gringo Loco because you are crazy.
Right. So it's a long story short. Me and Shima Zion are super Lucha Libre fans. We're sitting on the couch one day, and we're watching like Ultimo Guerrero, Euphoria, really, really strong bases in professional wrestling and CMLL and other promotions. And I sat there and I said, you know what, man, these guys are like literally gods of base, dude. They never drop anybody. And it's very interesting because I don't think I've ever dropped anybody. He's like, have you ever dropped anyone on a dive or on a head scissor? I was like, no, I've never have. He's like, you're the Base God, man. You're a god of base. You need to call yourself that. I was like, man, that's interesting. So I started going as Base God Gringo Loco, and it just kind of stuck.
It absolutely did. It's one of the reasons. It's one of the more enjoyable reasons that we follow each other on Instagram.
Yeah.
That and the great content that you put out there, and all the great highlight reels, which I got a whole lot of clips tonight. Now, when it comes to Demand Lucha and you being a champion who's never going to turn down a fight, is there anyone that Demand Lucha could bring that you'd be like, damn, this is something I really got to prepare for? Is there somebody that you got your eye on that you'd love to put your strap up against?
I mean, the list is long in terms of that question. You know, Johnny Mundo comes to mind. You know, he would be a hell of a competitor. Jack Cartwheel is another one of my rivals that I need to beat on a one-on-one that I haven't done yet. And there's just, I mean, the list is so long, but in terms of like a real challenge, it would be Johnny Mundo because he's just so strong, big, tall, ex-WWE. Like, if I could like overcome that mountain, I could probably overcome any. You know?
Well, you've already overcome quite a bit
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
I got to touch on something a little bit more personal. I know that your dog passed away
Yeah.
recently. I've lost a couple pets in my life just through old age and
Yep.
things. How did it feel to say goodbye to someone who's probably the closest friend and confidant you've had in a very long time?
Yeah, it was the hardest thing. This happened yesterday, so this wound is like super fresh. I had to come here, had to be the consummate professional and just kind of get through the match. But like, yeah, I was struggling today. I was struggling last night. I got no sleep. It was the toughest thing that I've ever had to go through in my life personally. I've never had to deal with any kind of loss ever yet, and I'm, almost, we won't say how old I am. I'm older than you think. Never had to deal with any loss, so that was like the first real in-your-face moment of like a loss, dude. So it was very, very tough. It was an emotional day. It still is an emotional day today. I'm just trying to keep it together, but he lived a long life full of love and happiness, and we sent him to peace knowing that. So it's sad, but it was time. So,
Absolutely.
He was around a long time.
Oh, he was, absolutely. I saw some of the pictures, and like I said, I've been following you for a couple years, and that dude's been everywhere with you, man.
He has, man. He was born in Guadalajara, took him to Mexico City to live with us for years. Then we brought him to cold-ass Chicago with all the winters, man. He was just such a warrior. Never complained once, dude. So it was just time. It's sad, but, he went in peace.
Absolutely. Now, here's one thing we've got to talk about, because we didn't talk about it the first time we spoke. Chicago winters, Toronto winters, you've experienced both. Who's got the tougher winter?
God, I thought we had it bad, and then I came up here. What was it? What was the last show here? December?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are cold up here too, bro. Like, I was not fully prepared for what I walked off the plane with last show here. I was like, yeah, they're just as bad up here than Chicago. Like, Chicago gets really, really bad. But I walked off the plane last time, and I'm like, dude, this is even worse. Like, it was like sleety, wet rain, and everything was disgusting, and equally suck. They equally suck in the
Absolutely,
Toronto,
yes.
Chicago.
But they are both very picturesque and beautiful in the summer.
Yeah,
but the
yeah.
summer only lasts such a
What,
short
do you
period
guys
of time.
get 3 months?
Well,
Not
if
even,
we're lucky,
right?
maybe
2.5.
4. Yeah,
Maybe 4. That's
maybe
good.
4.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get 4 if Mother Nature's really kind to us, but then we know she's going to stick it to us come winter. So either way, we're fucked. Fucked either way.
It's a tough one, man. I'll put up my city against any other city in the world. Chicago in the summertime, man. It is a hell of a city.
Oh, absolutely.
Rooftops become your best friend. Mimosas, sangrias, everything is just outside, and everybody's just happy because we finally have vitamin D with sun. It's just a happier place to be. But we got to deal with the winters for that. So
Yeah, we get through those harsh times to enjoy those good times.
that's right.
I got to ask you this, because like I said, you're somebody that I believe should be on every company's radar. Have you ever, have you been approached recently by any of the big organizations? Is there any talks or any conversations? Maybe get you on NWA TV, WWE TV, AEW TV, given the right opportunity for Gringo Loco, because we know how the big boys, creative control is hard.
Right.
You don't get to keep it very often.
You gotta kind of find your way through that maze, right? So like every single one of my friends has done dark, and I've kind of stayed away from dark because dark is a YouTube show and people kind of get squashed on it, and you're seen.
Yep, I have.
For 2 minutes.
have.
And I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I just think I wanted like a real opportunity. Hopefully I get on the radar. There has been a little bit of an interest here and there, but it would just be to come in and see what happens. I would rather make enough noise to bring me in to say this is what's going to happen. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So there has been interest in other companies too, but nothing for sure. So I don't really want to touch on that just yet. You just have to wait and see.
Absolutely, and I'm okay to that. I'm okay to wait and see. One place, if I could just throw my hat in, one place I think you would do phenomenal in, just because the X Division is so stacked with some guys you've already tangled, I think Impact Wrestling would be a perfect place for Gringo Loco. Great creative control. You also get to keep your indie schedule and bookings. I mean, it really is the best of both worlds for a wrestler of your caliber.
It really is, man. And like some of my favorite opponents of my career are there right now. Laredo Kid, Trey Miguel. Top of the line wrestling people, dude. Like in and out of the ring, man. It doesn't get any better than Taurus is there. I mean, the list is endless. I would have so much fun in Impact.
You would, and also with the fact that Scott D'Amore is literally the Thanos of the open door. He's worked with everybody. There's that meme that went around with him with the gauntlet with all the companies. I mean, working with Scott D'Amore, working with Impact, there's a chance to have so many dream matchups. It's the place to be if you're a wrestling fan, in my honest opinion.
Yeah, hopefully I make enough noise within this year. I feel like 2023 is off to a rousing start. I did Japan coming into this year. That went really well. I got invited back. So things are moving very quickly. And I think with the momentum that I have now, it's only a matter of time until somebody is like, yo, this is where you're going to be, this is where you belong, and here's your big fat check. So
yeah,
hopefully
absolutely.
that's the situation. Yeah.
Absolutely. 2 more questions. I'm going to let you go enjoy your evening. When it comes down to chill time for Gringo Loco, because I know there is no chill in the way you handle yourself in the ring.
Guy knows me. He knows me.
I know there's no chill. There's no days off for Gringo Loco, but in case the odd day off comes, what does Gringo Loco do on a day off?
I really do like going out to nice dinners with my girlfriend.
Are you a steak man?
Yeah. We just had steak for Valentine's Day. It was fantastic. Steak and pasta was awesome.
I did see that picture.
I do. Oh, okay. So you know.
I do. I creep. I creep, but I follow.
I have to definitely make time for her because she is really the glue to everything in my life and my career. Like without her right now, I'm not in Toronto. Like that's just a fact. You know, Japan doesn't happen. Mexico, nothing happens if she doesn't hold it together. So I need to make extra time for her. And if we really have real time off on a weekend, we're going to a concert. So we fly out, we go to a concert somewhere. We really like this EDM scene and stuff, and I got her into it a couple years ago. So we're either like hanging out at dinners or we're like going crazy at a concert somewhere. So I mean, that's pretty much it.
That's a very good juxtaposition though. Quiet and chill, or let's get rowdy and party.
Yeah.
But either way, still no days off for Gringo Loco.
I wish. Teach, like, how do you? What is it? You just get up and do nothing? Like, how does that?
Listen, let me tell you. Let me tell you something, man. My man, dude. It even gets worse when you have kids. I'm surrounded by women. Even the dog is a girl, so I'm outnumbered all kinds.
Yeah.
Two daughters, two beautiful daughters, and my wife, who is my glue. And you know what? Without her, stuff like this doesn't happen.
I know,
if I get an opportunity to sit down with somebody like you, she doesn't even question it. She's like, why are you still here? Your jacket should be on. You should have been on the road 5 minutes ago.
Dude,
so respect and shout out to two great women right there.
It sounds like we have two good ones, and we have to keep them.
We absolutely do.
They don't make them like that anymore, dude.
Well, let me tell you, my man. See this right here? 20 years.
Oh, dude.
20 years.
I mean,
20 years dating,
I think
14 years married.
Ready to pull the trigger too. So.
Oh
yeah,
no.
Dude. I mean, how could I not? It doesn't get better than what I have now. I know that for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what's a Gringo Loco proposal look like? I mean, is it sexy or is it just outlandish?
You know what it is? It's thoughtful. It'll be very, very romantic. It'll be very thoughtful. There'll be a lot of, thought and kindness put into it, and it got to make it memorable, right? So it's got to be full of like maybe a place where we experience something the first time, or we'll have to think about that. But I know that it will be memorable for her once it happens.
Absolutely, it'll be memorable for both of you because it'll be a moment that you can share. And when that day happens, I wish you all the luck in the world. And I know she's going to say yes, 150%. How could seriously? How could she not? How could she not? My final question for you, and I'm gonna let you go enjoy the rest of your day. When it comes down to Gringo Loco's career thus far, you've already said 2023 has gone off with a bang. I don't want to ask the goal questions, but what is something that you definitely want to achieve this year? And it could be the smallest achievement whatsoever, but somewhere maybe a city you haven't wrestled, a promotion you haven't wrestled, something that you want to put your stamp on in 2023 to know this is a year where I leveled up.
I wouldn't mind getting a nice spot at Triple Mania in AAA. Maybe like a higher up spot where like a lot of spotlight is just on me and my opponent. I wouldn't mind frequenting Japan a couple times this year to see what happens there, because Japan was just an absolute dream when I was over there. It's like how wrestling should be, very professional, everything is like on time. It's we're always on lucha time in my career, so it's always late. Not necessarily here at Demand, but like everything is never on time. And I mean, I think, man, let's put it out there, man. I want to work Ring of Honor at some point this year.
Done.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. You and AKA former Cesaro, if you will, that would be a barn burner.
Yeah.
That would be I can't even tell you how crazy that would be.
Yeah, there's a lot of talent there that I would want to work. So I think any situation Ring of Honor would be goal number one this year. Yeah.
Let's put it out there in the universe. It's been stamped on the Straight Talk Wrestling Podcast. Before you go, my dude, look in the camera, give me that Gringo Loco energy, and tell people you just had another kick-ass interview with your boy, and they should subscribe, because if they aren't, what are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing. You better subscribe, man, because this guy knows how to do a pretty awesome interview. So social media is Gringo Loco OG on Twitter, and I am Base God on Instagram. So you already know there's only one Base God, and it's Gringo Loco.
That's true, and there's only one Straight Talk Wrestling Podcast where I ask the tough questions. I never hold back, no matter what it is. Peace, love, and wrestling. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to tune in next week for another great episode on all available podcast platforms and hosted on Podbean. Also, check us out on YouTube at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Instagram at Straight Talk Wrestling, on Facebook at Straight Talk Wrestling, and on Twitter at _Straight Talk. And if you feel the need to buy some sweet merch, check us out on ProWrestlingTees.com.
Leaving the scene with no trace, not in my league. You out of place. I'm not at the top. I'm outer space. Can't eat with us. We're out of place. I'm doing fine. I'm feeling great. You're not my fan.